Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. Hazard Containment Site 53. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Greetings. It seems since you are reading this, it is fair to assume you made it through selection and you are the newest addition to our night security crew. I am Assistant Chief of Security here at Site 53. I cannot reveal my full name to you, but you may address me as Chief Besson. This site may look unassuming and plain, but be warned, dark secrets are kept behind these walls. It is meant to house things of unspeakable horror, things that the government trusts us, and only us, to keep under lock and key and out of the knowledge of the public. I will mention right now that this job is not easy, many on the crew either don't come back in or don't get back out. But I can assure you, we in the Site 53 security team will do everything in our ability to keep you safe. We have established a few important rules and guidelines for you to follow. Follow the set schedule religiously and always be on time, we cannot emphasize this enough. I have placed a timetable on your desk in the office, read over it whenever you can. We had one guy who came in 5 minutes late, and let's just say he wasn't exactly in one piece when we found him. Always have some distilled water on you when you do your patrols. There is a plastic bottle on your desk and a dispenser in the office. This will come in handy later, trust me. When you have to go to the restroom, do it quickly. Plenty of our employees have not come back from the restrooms. Before you enter the stall, cough. If you forget to do this, he will show no mercy. B. When you are in the stall, if you hear a coughing sound, notify us on the radio. We will send a crew to clean you off the floor. C. Take note that the stalls are always numbered 1 to 5, starting from the entrance to the far end of the room. However, sometimes other labels appear, like a letter or any other symbol. If this happens, immediately leave the bathroom, call security, and radio in code Victor Mike 0. 4. If you spot someone in civilian clothing walking around the park while you are patrolling the premises at night, be very careful. It is not human. I will not go into too much detail here, but I will say it is always hungry. Should you encounter one, A. Back away slowly and keep your weapon ready. B. Keep eye contact and do not break it. C. Take your bottle of water and sprinkle some in between both of you. Water is like poison to them, even in small amounts, and they will not go near it. 5. While you do your rounds, see to it that all the containment paddocks have been locked and secured. Inform security about any unsecured paddocks. You may perform a quick check of the area around the paddock, just in case. 6. Every once in a while, a convoy of trucks and APCs will arrive. Alert code Orange will be activated during this time. Stay on guard and if something happens, act accordingly. 7. Don't stick anything in the cages that you fancy keeping. Don't lean, climb, or look into it either, unless you're looking to paint the cage red. 8. Do not attempt to feed any of the animals with anything remotely edible, even spoiled food. Do not throw any kind of food packaging, wrappers or bags, or anything that has a trace of food matter on it. Do not bring any food near cages. Story 2. Broadcast for citizens in the CNY area of America. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. If you are seeing this, watching this or hearing this, it means the Rocketans, an extra Galician species, has arrived and destroyed all air defenses. Luckily for you sorry bastards, I hijacked a government broadcast system to tell you how to survive. An important note is that the aliens are very easy to kill. 22 calories. Weapon should do the trick. If you have weapons, grab them in all ammo/protective armor. They are armed with plasma rifles similar to the E-11 from Star Wars, which means anti-ammo plates will protect you just fine on the first hit. Do not be loud. They have excellent hearing and similar to clickers from The Last of Us use echolocation when they find an enemy unit, which is you. Their greatest weakness is any broadcast interrupted, so carry any source of this with you. They are not good at fighting in the dark, so move at night unless you hear a siren. Sometimes at night they launch aerial bombardments. If this happens, run or hide in your basement till the siren stops. They have what we call camo units, which disguise as humans. If anyone has black teeth, shoot them and don't think twice, even if it's your dear Aunt Sally or some shit. The ships are always visible and are damaged by sustained gunfire, but only in 0.50 calories, and even then you would need 550 calories guns to even have a chance at bringing one down. They also have commando units specifically for behind lines ops, so keep watch. They are very sneaky. This source from Rule 3 is water. It stunned them from my experience fighting them off. Evacuation forces have been incapacitated, so if you want to leave alive, you have to fight. They are very easy to distract. Mainly with smoke, so if you have them, use smoke nades. Once you are out of New York State, move to Canada. They first saw the Rocketans in 2019 and knew something was up, so they are the best prepped for this kind of thing. And also by the time you see this, the rest of Earth will have the same problem, so may God be with you, because everything else certainly isn't. They suck at aim, so they just hip fire, but to make up for this they move in squads of 30, so use explosive solutions. Story 3. Don't go near the fireplace. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Have you seen a face peeking from under the fireplace during the times of 11 to 5 a.m.? Has it started getting colder despite lighting up the fireplace? Did you hear wailing from behind the Christmas tree? December is the worst time of the year. And with a very good reason for it. 300 years ago, on December 25th, Santa Claus, or Saint Nicholas, was said to be a thief, a traitor, and an overall bad person. He was also accused of sorcery. He would sneak into people's home, take their belongings and replace it with graphic things such as human organs, gore, or feces. They say he was executed by crucifixion. Nails to his hands, feet, mouth, and groin. It is apparent that his spirit has come to torment those during the hours of 11-5 a.m., the time in which he was in agonizing pain. Here is how to survive Santa Claus. 1. Barb the hearth. Make sure nothing can get in or out. 2. Destroy the tree. This will make you vulnerable if there are huge objects disabling your visibility. 3. There are no elves. Only children who lost their lives over the years because of him. They will attempt to break in, persuade you, and convince you to let them in. You cannot do that. Hide all traces of your children. 4. He will go as far as to murder 8-month pregnant women for their unborn child. Lock your wife in a safe and secured area. 5. Arm yourself. Crucifix in the Bible is what traumatized him. Rare occasions he will get mad, but most of the time he will run away. Good OL.44 could do the trick. Aim for the head. 6. Pray. The Lord is your strength. No other thing can oppose him. Santa will perish. 7. I'm behind you. 8. Do not ignore noises coming from anywhere. Santa will not enter through other entrances except the chimney. Look for the source of sound and eliminate. 9. By dusk, Santa will realize you are a formidable opponent, and that he will leave. However, he will come back for the second round, and that you must be prepared. Follow these rules to survive. Stay vigilant, stay safe. God loves you. Story 4. Office Guidelines Quiz. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. To test your knowledge on this office's rule set, we will have you take a mandatory quiz. Failing to score at least 70% will terminate your employment. If you hear crying, you should A. Investigate. Wrong answer. You will never be seen again if you investigate. -2%. B. Hide until the crying stops. Correct answer. +12%. C. Leave the building and go home. Partially correct. Note, don't go to your home if you are escaping, they will follow you, plus 6%. 2. When a red light flashes, you should A. Go to the shelter. Wrong answer. The shelter is filled by creatures ready to tear you apart. Minus 3%. B. Kill yourself. Wrong answer. No, this is not a shitty r/rule shorer story. Minus 5%. C. Stay still and don't make loud noises. Correct answer. They are startled by sounds and movement. Plus 15%. 3. When a green light flashes, you should A. Run out of the building. Correct answer. You can outrun them, trust me. Plus 15%. B. Hide under the desk. Wrong answer. They will find you. Minus 4%. C. Keep working. Partially correct. Has an 8% chance of failing. Plus 5%. 4. If you oversleep and left in the office, you should A. Escape the building using a source of light. Wrong answer. Those at night are sensitive to light and won't hesitate to kill you. Minus 7%. B. Stay where you are, go back to sleep. Correct answer. They will leave after 6 a.m. Plus 14%. C. Stay awake and monitor your surroundings. Partially correct. This won't leave you dead, but you will be losing your sanity. Plus 8%. 5. If a pizza party is ongoing, you should A. Run. Correct answer. It is not a pizza party. Wait for a bagel party or any other party. Plus 15%. B. Eat the pizza. Wrong answer. It isn't pizza. Prepare to lose one of your kidneys. Minus 3%. C. Report to management. Partially correct. They won't believe you, but there is no harm to report it. Plus 10%. 6. You will be paid by A. Cash. Wrong answer. You will not be receiving any cash from any human here. Minus 8%. B. Transferring money to your bank account. Correct answer. Plus 15%. C. Check. Wrong answer. They now know your name. Minus 8%. 7. When you hear strange noises above you, you should A. Look up. Wrong answer. You lose your eyes. Minus 6%. B. Go to the employee lounge and hide there. Partially correct. You will only lose one finger. Plus 1%. C. Shed some blood and run. Correct answer. They will be satisfied with your sacrifice and leave you alone. Plus 14%. This marks the end of the quiz. Please proceed to the office if you have passed the quiz. Story 5. Rules for the Maths Textbook. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. I always get the shittiest textbooks. The ones that have been graffitied, the textbooks that look like they're on their last legs, and even once one that had a substance that looked suspiciously like dried vomit. Second-hand books are on another level of wild, I tell ya. But, by far, this has to be the weirdest one I've got. I'd cracked open this particular maths book, expecting maybe at worst some torturous-looking questions about linear equations. But instead, I found the first page had been defaced by messy handwriting. At least it wasn't on the actual exercise questions, and just on the example equations. That's fine, I'd just take better notes than usual for this chapter. Curious as to what could be so important that the previous owner of the book had to write it right on the example equations, I started reading. Headings should be written in red pen and any notes in black pen. Any other time I used other ink colors, they didn't last long. The ink erodes away quickly and so I have to keep copying down my notes again and again, which is getting kinda annoying. Should it do that? Maybe it's just the quality of these pens, I did get them for like 50 Though the red pen's ink is very shiny, it stains easily. I learned that the hard way when it bled onto my nice white shirt I was gonna wear out to dinner. I don't know what ingredients are in the red and black ink, but I do love how vibrant the colors are. The black ink is a bit thicker in consistency and lumpier. It smells a bit vile too, but I heard that the higher the quality of the ink is, the worse it smells. Not sure how much I believe that, but the ink really is excellent looking. Squinting at the awful handwriting, wow, they must have been in a rush when writing this next bit, I managed to decipher the next few lines. 2. Don't draw in the margins. I've been throwing up a lot lately. It's always colored black, which is weird. I don't think that's normal, but it's not concerning me enough for a doctor's trip anyway. Plus, I always seem to spew after I doodle absent-mindedly in the margins. I'm probably being foolish here, it's just a coincidence, but it puts my paranoid mind at ease, so I think I'll just bring some spare paper to draw on instead of writing in the margins. It's no fun vomiting, I hope my stomach bug goes away soon. 3. Be neat. I found all my notes with rushed handwriting ripped out and strewn out on my bed one day. The page after in the book had the words "do better" written in the most beautiful cursive I've ever seen. I don't remember writing those words, but who else could it have been? Maybe I wrote it as a note to myself to write neater and forgot about it. And the ripped paper I found on my bed would have to be my roommate's pet fault, but it's strange how they managed to rip out only the pages that had my unruly handwriting on them. Dated a few days later, this author's note had red droplets scattered around it. It's weird. I don't know what's happening to me, but I woke up this morning feeling unusually drowsy and sweaty. I'm seriously starting to think about seeing a doctor, but I don't have the time or money for it as a broke uni student. Strangely, I had to search for a while for a black pen to write this note in. I swear I had more of these, I just bought a lot a couple of weeks ago. Maybe I got it mixed up though, I've got a lot of red pens, more than I even know what to do with. I'm sure they weren't there before though, but I guess I have been pretty forgetful lately. Yet another odd event, I like to pride myself on my memory. A scribbled note was written directly under this saying, "WTF is going on? Why is this happening to me?" Okay, so I went to the doctor the other day at my roommate's urging and they were immediately alarmed. I had lost a severe amount of blood and required transfusions instantly. They said it was astonishing I hadn't passed out already. So thanks, Dave. The doctors also asked me if I had donated blood recently and I said no. The only possible way I could have lost blood was from the paper cut I made on my finger this morning. The doctor has proclaimed it a medical mystery. Straight after the blood transfusion, I felt a lot better. I've been working on the schoolwork I missed whilst I was in the hospital, it's pretty boring here. My GP told me to monitor my condition to be safe, but I should be fine from now on as I was perfectly healthy in all other aspects. This next bit of text was dated a week later, written in faded black ink. I'm feeling a lot worse. I keep feeling lightheaded and my skin is very pale. I don't think it's my blood again, after all, it's only been a week since I got the blood transfusions. But I can't afford another trip to the GP right now. My budget is stretched tight as it is. You know what, I'm going to chalk it up to being stressed out by uni. There has been so much work lately, especially in mathematics. At least I've caught up on all the work I missed out on doing whilst conked out in the hospital. I reckon I can knock out next week's homework over the weekend and just put my feet up all of next week. That sounds nice. Yeah. I'll do that. I put the book back down in my lap and leaned back in disbelief. What the fuck is this? Why is this person treating their maths textbook like some kind of diary/to-do list/therapist? I mean, I felt bad that they had to go through all this shit, but I'm wondering why they had to write these weird-ass rules down. Honestly, I was equal parts thoroughly intrigued and bewildered about this strange find. I felt almost obligated to read the rest at this point. For there isn't a chapter 12. I don't know why I've got a chapter 12. None of my classmates have a chapter 12. It's not like this is an older edition of the textbook schools currently use either. This book was only printed last year. Sometimes I've left my textbook open on my desk and come back to it and the pages have been blown open to the starting page of chapter 12. So far, it's never been opened further than the starting page and I've never tried looking past it myself. Actually, that's not true. One time, the wind had blown the book open further into chapter 12 than usual. I had gotten up to get a snack and a drink of water, and when I returned to my room to resume studying, I found my roommate's pet cat staring at the book intently. It didn't even blink once in the good 5 minutes, I reckon. That I stood standing stock still in the doorway of my bedroom, transfixed by the bizarre image in front of me. Then the cat lifted its head to me and gazed into my eyes, keenly examining me for something. It felt like it wasn't actually looking at me, but through me. Seeing me, for what I really was. Staring at my soul. Then, it shuddered and snapped out of the strange mood it had previously been in. It jumped down from the desk gracefully and sauntered out of my room with its usual aura of haughtiness surrounding it. It brushed against my leg, and for some reason, the gesture seemed taunting to me. Although, I swear since that day, I've looked over at the cat and it has been staring at me with a weird twinkle in its eyes. I don't know if that's normal cat behavior or not, but something has felt off about the cat from that day. 5. Don't look at the diagrams. I'm half sure that this was just a prank a classmate pulled on me. But the diagrams and graphs in my book depict the strangest things and aren't even related to the questions. Like, last night I was doing exercise 3A and there was a question about graphs. I don't remember exactly what it was asking me, but the graph attached to the question had nothing to do with the actual question itself. I couldn't even complete that question. I had to ask a classmate for a photo of the actual 3A graphs. Instead of the graph, there was a picture of the bottom half of someone's face. They were smiling, baring their teeth in a poor imitation of a friendly grin. Their face was contorted in a strange way, like they weren't used to smiling. It had an almost predatory hint to it, like the person smiling was amused by something. It unnerved me a lot, not gonna lie. And, the drawing was done in black and red ink. It was uncanny. The ink color was almost identical to my normal writing pens. After the last rule, there was a final note that seemed to be hastily scrawled saying there are so many red pens. Why are there so many red pens? A bit freaked out, I put the textbook aside and tried to forget it. And for the most part, I was able to do just that. I continued unpacking my school supplies and promptly forgot all about it when my dog came bounding into my room, trailing mud everywhere and occupying my attention wholly. It's only now, in my first maths class for the school year, that the textbook has crossed my mind. I opened it and it fell open to the page where the rules were, like it had been opened to that page so many times before that it was almost just natural for it to land open on that page. Seeing the messy scribble of the previous owner and remembering all the shit they detailed going through, makes me think I'll just ask my professor for a spare sheet of paper. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.